Hello there. Well, I'm finally outside. It's been a terrible summer. About a month or so ago there was 2 good days, one in sort of 2 separate weeks, and I had to wait in on both of those days for a computer to be picked up and then delivered the next day. It just wasn't fair, you know. But thankfully we've got a good day. Again, it's just one good day amidst a whole period of really wet weather. What's going on with this summer? Anyway, I'm in the wonderful oil station at Gleneagles, and the plan for today is to walk to Dollar over the Ochil Hills via Glendevon. There is a sort of recognised route between Auchterarder and Dollar via Glendevon. I'm not going to go into Auchterarder because I think it would add a little bit extra to today's distance. I'm just going to pick up a minor road for a couple of miles, and then I'll join with that recognised route just outside Auchterarder. It's about 13 miles or so. I'm looking forward to it. Good to be out in the hills, you know, even if it's on a recognised path. I've not done this walk before. There's always a wee bit of excitement there. I think I'm not fully recovered from the virus that I had. I think I probably picked up in Leeds when I was on the holiday there. I'm sort of 90 or 95% recovered. Perfectly able to do today's walk. But I seem to be kind of bringing up or swallowing an awful lot of phlegm. That's not really the sort of thing you want to hear, is it, at the start of a walk? Phlegm and all that carry on. And yet when you watch the television these days, it seems to be awash with programmes about hospitals and this emergency and that emergency. And every now and then you hear the word degloved. Some poor soul's been hit by a bus and his leg's been degloved. And you look at it and you go, fascinating. Degloved, yeah, correct. I don't know what's going on with the television. Emergency hospital, emergency police. You can see murder scenes as they're uncovered. It's just a rather strange fascination with all that kind of carry on. Anyway, hopefully there'll be no degloving today, and hopefully not too much phlegm either. It's adventure time. Well, you just can't beat a good silhouette first thing in the morning. Okay, a rather unpleasant walk along a busy road there, no pavement, usual story, nightmare scenario. But at least I'm on a narrower road here. I've got maybe 2.5 miles on this to pick up the way between Auchterarder and Glendevon and Dollar. So we'll just put our head down and go for this. Got to be less cars on this road. Thank God. Well, that little road was a little bit longer than I perhaps anticipated. I got off the train about 9. It's now sort of 10:30, you know, that's eating an hour and a half of time. I do think that if I had, you know, got into Auchterarder, I think it would have been a little bit more than that. So I think I probably made the right decision. And this is the way we're going now. we'll be heading uphill on this another narrow road for just a wee bit, couple of miles maybe, yep, couple of miles. And then I'm thinking the way ahead in the path will be pretty well signposted. If not, I'll figure it out for myself, but we've got a sign there, which is a good sign. You can see the hill behind me. Is it Ben Effrey? I was up that before in a video. Just to keep a lookout for that one. I can't remember, it was quite a while back. And I think I had a wee chat at the top. Found a Stone Age axe, etc. I didn't find a Stone Age axe, but it was a little bit of stone that fascinated me for a while. Anyway, enough waffling. We've got an absolutely beautiful day. It's so good to be out. Onwards and upwards. Look at that tree. They knew how to build trees in the old days, didn't they? So I'm on a nice little forest track here. I thought I was going to have to go by the road for a few miles before we hit a kind of path. But this would seem to be, there was a sign saying Glen Clow, I think it was, and saying Glendevon 5 miles, which is where I'm heading for. It confused me a little bit because it's a little bit more than 5 miles in my calculation, and I was definitely trying to think if this was going to lead me in a completely different way, but shorter. I don't think it does. I think this just takes me off the road for a couple of miles, which will be good. And then I suspect it'll just take me back onto the road again. But it's kind of closer to 6, I think, or 6.5. So, either way, it's good to get off the road, and hopefully we'll not get hopelessly lost. That's the plan. This is where I'll need to watch what I'm doing. There's wind farms up here. None of the turbines are moving. Although there doesn't seem to be any wind, I would have thought there's just enough of a little kind of slight breeze to have moved them, but none of them are moving at all. And the reason I'll need to be careful is because there's going to be tracks heading towards each of the wind turbines, and these aren't always going to be the way that I want to go. For example, this wide track's going up that way, the side of this thin strip of trees, and there is a grassy track going that way, following the kind of glen here. I am going to follow the grass track, rightly or wrongly, and hopefully get away without having to use a compass bearing. I know roughly what's going on. Glendevon's is about 4 miles that way. In many ways I probably could take that wide track, but I'm going to err on the side of caution. It could be a mistake, but I'm going to go with the grass track. Fingers crossed. Well, I think I'm on the right track now. I went about a mile or a mile and a half in the wrong direction there. You know, in absence of signs, you get a choice of tracks, you make the wrong decision. You know, and at moments like that, you think I'd have learned my lesson by now. That's at the point you should be thinking about map and compass and stuff like that. I was referring to my map quite a bit, but if I was looking at my map, the arrangement of the hills were confusing me a bit. Simply because I was facing the wrong way. I was about 90 degrees out from where I thought I was facing. But these kind of low rounded hills, I just, excuse me, I couldn't quite, they didn't look right. And they didn't look right because I was facing the wrong way. And at that point it should be, you know, using a compass. Should have used the compass at the point where I wasn't sure which way to go. It would have saved a lot of flapping about. That's wasted quite a bit of time. I was hoping to be back in Glendevon by 1:30. It's 1:30 now. Hoping to be back in Dollar by 5. We'll see. The Dollar's one of these places where there's not a great bus service. I met a German woman there who was kind of also wondering, she thought there was a circular route from Auchterarder and back, but you know, I'm not the person to ask for advice, given that I just went the wrong way there and hadn't a clue what was going on. But we're all right now, thank God. This is not a great path. There's little holes in it now and then. Glendevon's over there somewhere. I've really messed up time-wise, but I'll get to Dollar one way or another. And if there's no bus, because the buses in Dollar stop after a certain time, then I'll just walk the 3 miles from there to Auchterarder, where there's a decent bus service. But let's get to Glendevon first and have something to eat. Get your map the right way around, Edward. It flipping helps. Right, I don't think I came through Glendevon, not a great deal to see, just a few houses. I suspect we're quite close to a reservoir. I can't read that, Glen Key Reservoir maybe, something like that. In which case we're about 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile, 4 mile to Dollar. Now it's not going to be a straightforward road, so it's not going to be 3 miles an hour, but neither is it going to be that steep at 2 miles an hour. So 4 miles, I think I can do that in an hour and a half. So if I leave, just finish my lunch here at 3:30, that'll be 4:30, 5. That'll actually get me into Dollar when I'd planned to get into Dollar, which I hadn't expected that. Is that right? And even if it took me 2 hours, 3:30. So I think we're going to be alright. You know, the walk's not really worked out that well. It's not going as smoothly as I would have liked. You know, sort of 13 miles or whatever it was, that's maybe too long to actually do and spend the time to get some decent video footage. I felt a little bit rushed there. I made a mess of the kind of navigation at one point. That didn't help. So, you know, I haven't really stopped and planned good video shots and stuff. I've just kind of been trying to get on my way. Hopefully we'll get some sort of video out of it. If you're watching this, then you know that that's been the case. The path's not been that great, you know. If it wasn't that kind of horrible stony stuff near the wind turbines, then coming down towards Glendevon, one of these paths where hidden under the grass just either side of the narrow path is a kind of a slight dip. It's kind of ankle twisting stuff if you're not careful. And then coming along there, it was a little bit churned up with horses, full of horse prints, hoof prints, and horse manure. Not a great path. I was talking earlier on, and I talked maybe in the last video about well, I talked at the beginning of the video about having to wait in on 2 days for my computer to get picked up for repair, and then for it to get dropped off, delivered for repair, after it had been repaired. That's Curry's, you know. Curry's have kind of cornered the market in household appliances and computer equipment, really. I think people who want anything in either of these categories will probably go to Curry's. What I hadn't realised until I had this computer, it was a battery problem. You know, after 8 months of use, a battery shouldn't be needing replacing. I wonder whether there was a battery in it at all. I think you can run your computer without a battery. It just means certain things aren't working or doing what they should, you know. That caused me an awful lot of hassle, because you know what it's like when you get a new computer. You're having to set everything up, and I had to go through all that rigmarole again. What a flaming nonsense it was. And it was made worse. The whole experience was made far worse by the fact that I hadn't known until now that Curry's use call centres in India. I thought we'd done away with that nonsense a long time ago. You know, I remember when BT were using call centres in India. I don't think they do now. A good 2 years back, and had to phone up something about my computer, my phone in fact, and getting through to a call centre in India. Later that same day, getting a call from somebody who sounded as if he was calling from a call centre in India, something about the government and loft insulation. You know, there's an awful lot of crooked criminal call centres in India. There really is. I think most of your scam calls are coming from call centres in India. Why Curry's can't use British workers, I don't know. it might be cheaper to use a call centre in India, but no matter how well these people can talk English, there is without question a barrier to communication. I spoke to one guy on the phone, and he had, after he was going through the rigmarole, but keep your on buttons pressed for 30 seconds or whatever, and he was talking me through various things, and at one point he said it was normal to have to press F1 to get your computer up and running. Oh no, it's not. And another lassie in the call centre in there that I spoke to, I was saying to her, which delivery company will pick up the computer? She said, it's DPD. Turns out it's Curry's own delivery vehicles that uplift and deliver. These people haven't got a clue what's going on. And they made it worse because they didn't get my address correct. Both the guy uplifting the computer and the guy delivering the repair computer had to phone up and say, where are you? Because the address wasn't a proper address. So it's just an absolute nonsense. When I checked my phone bill, I made 3 calls to either support, Curry's support, or I'm not sure if they were all to India. 2 of them were certainly. That was about £10 worth of phone calls, which I resent, so terrible, I really do. Whenever I next need to buy something, some household equipment, household appliance, or something, some sort of computery stuff, I'm going to make a concerted effort to make sure I don't buy it in Curry's, because I don't want to go down this same road if I'm going to deal with a call centre in India. And I think this time Curry's pulled their finger out. Anyway, that's your chat. I've got to eat this and get on my way. I still feel slightly rushed. Hopefully I'll be able to get some footage between here and Dollar. I'm shattered. See you shortly. Mission accomplished. There seems to be a bus at 8 minutes past, excuse me, 5. I'm going to get it, 5 o'clock now, 8 minutes to get ready. What a walk it's been. I'm Eddie Burns, take care.